Hi there, I'm Jeff Plum,
And I'm Alois Trezero from PingSkills.
and today we're going to talk about doubles strategy.
Before we go through the actual strategy of doubles, it's important to understand the rules of doubles.
Now there's four main points to remember when you're playing doubles.
The first rule is that you have to take it in turns to hit. So after I hit, I get out of the way of my partner and Jeff hits the next one. The next important rule of doubles is that you always serve from the right-hand box diagonally. You're not allowed to serve from your left-hand box. So remember, always serve from the right-hand box. The next rule is that you serve your two serves to the same side, but you also serve it to the same person for both of your two serves. And the last important rule is that after you finish your two serves, you swap with your partner, and then your partner is going to receive the next two serves. The four rules of doubles. Firstly, take it in turns with your partner to hit. Secondly, always serve from your right-hand box diagonally. Thirdly, always serve to the same person for your two serves. And the fourth one, after you finish your two serves, you swap over and it's your partner's turn to return.
Okay, let's now look at some strategies for your doubles. Firstly, I want to start with the service. When you're serving, it's a good idea to serve almost all of your serves short so that they would bounce twice on the table. Now the reason for this is because you're only serving to half the table, so it's easy for your opponent to be ready for the long serve. So keep those serves short.
Another great tip is to make sure that you keep that ball low as well. So if the ball goes up at any height, it's very easy for them to be ready here to be able to flick the ball away quite strongly. So focus on getting that serve nice and low over the net.
And one last tip for your serving, try and serve so the second bounce is close to the middle line. It still needs to be in the right hand side box, but make it close to the middle line. If you serve it wider, the ball can go off the edge, which would allow your opponents to make a topspin stroke. So it's much better to keep it closer to the second line to ensure that you get the two bounces on the table. So you can see here, when I serve it close to the center line, both bounces are on the table.
Let's move on now and have a think about some strategies for receiving serve. As we pointed out when we talked about serving, there's only half the area that the receiver needs to cover. It's important then to use that advantage and make sure you're playing quite an aggressive stroke. If you see the ball coming long on the table at all, that's your opportunity to make a good aggressive attacking stroke. But also, if the ball's up a little bit high, you've only got this area to cover, it's easier to flick the ball away for a stronger shot. The next thing you can think about with receiving serve is where is a good place to return to. Let's have a think about it a bit. If I return the ball cross court, that opens up the possibility for my opponent to get Jeff out wide here. If I return the ball down the line, then their natural stroke is going to be across to Jeff. So what I would advocate is if you're playing a neutral stroke, so something that isn't very aggressive or you're not going to make a winner from, it's better to play it into this area here so that their natural angle is across to your partner. If you can play an aggressive, strong shot, then you can go cross court and try and hit more of a winner. Because remember, the server has just served from there. Their partner is going to be across on that side. So if you can play a strong shot across there, they're going to have to move as well.
So now we're going to talk about strategy during the rally. Now the interesting thing with doubles is even though you're playing against two people, during a game you're only hitting to the one person. So you need to concentrate on that person's strengths and weaknesses and try and make it difficult for that opponent that you're hitting to. So let's look at a few examples. Say the person you're hitting to doesn't like your heavy backspin serve. Well then, you should serve a lot of heavy backspin serves. But then also think about whether they've got a stronger forehand or backhand. If their forehand's a lot stronger, play a lot more balls to their backhand. Now, when you're doing this, you also need to think about your partner, because if say they've got a weaker forehand and you're always playing to their forehand, but then they're still managing to hit the ball okay and catching your partner out, then you may need to adjust. So firstly, think about their strengths and weaknesses, and secondly, think about that they're going to be hitting the ball to your partner, so you need to consider his strengths and weaknesses as well.
Like when we were talking about the return of serve, the same applies to the rally. If you're playing the ball down the line, it's going to be a much better angle for your partner. So if you're playing a neutral stroke, down the line's probably better, because that is going to be a better position for your partner. But if you're going to play an aggressive stroke that is going to make it difficult for the other pair, then you can go cross court. But remember, if you play an easy ball cross court, that's going to open up the angle out here, and your partner's going to be stretching to get the next one. Let's have a look at your movement in doubles. So if there are two right-handed players, the movement becomes a matter of circling around as much as you can. If I'm returning, I'll usually return with my forehand. I could return with my backhand as well. After that return, I'm going to move out and around, out of the way, so that Jeff now can stand in the middle to play his stroke. While he's doing that, I've circled around and back into the middle, because after Jeff plays his shot, whichever way he goes, I come into the middle here and I'm ready to play my stroke. Which way you move depends on the ball that you've hit. For example, if I've received a ball wide out to my forehand here, I'm going to hit and continue around to the back and then circle around. If Jeff hits that ball, he's going to move out that way so that he comes in and allows me the whole of the table for the next shot. Whenever you're moving in doubles, think about trying to get as close to your ready position as you can. So while Jeff's playing his stroke, without interfering with what he's doing, I'm going to try and get as close as I can to my ready position, so that as soon as he hits, I'm here and ready to play the next ball. The other thing you need to consider is where Jeff is playing his shot to. If he's playing the ball over to there, then I'm going to start to position myself more across here to cover off these angles. Similarly, if Jeff plays across over to that side, I'm going to move a little bit closer to here to cover off this angle. So, to summarize, most of the movement happens in little circles. So you hit, move around in a little circle so that you're getting close to your ready position again. Okay, I hit and go around and back into my ready position. Sometimes though, in doubles, the situation happens where you've played a shot, you really haven't got time to circle around, you might just come out here and come back in again. Whenever you're playing doubles, think about moving, getting close to your ready position, but also making sure that you're allowing your partner to play their strokes effectively. Now let's look at a left-hander playing with a right-hander. And I'll tell you, this is a lot easier than two right-handers playing together. With a left-hander and a right-hander, the left-hander always stays on this side of their partner. So when I'm returning, I hit the ball, and all I do is I move across out of the way here. Jeff now has the whole table to play his stroke, and he can play aggressive forehands and backhands. I just move back in and I'm in my ready position to play the next ball. Very rarely with a right hand left hand combination do we get forced to cross over. So that is the real advantage of playing as a right hand left hand combination. With the left hand right hand combination, as we talked about, the left-hander always stays on this side of their partner. So that means that when I'm serving, I'm over here and Jeff will stand there. When Jeff's serving, he will stand there and I'm still going to stand over on this side of him, because after he serves, that moves me into position easily to be able to play forehand or a backhand easily. So all the time, serving, returning, and it doesn't matter who's serving or returning, the left-hander always stays on this side of the right-hander.
So to summarise, all great movers in table tennis will play their shot, they will get out of the way just enough to give their opponent room to play the shot, but not too far, so that then they can get back ready to play their next shot. Now, one real key to this is watching the ball really closely. That will allow you to get ready and in position for the next ball.
Another interesting part of doubles is hand signals that you do during your service. So the hand signal is basically to tell your partner what type of serve you're going to do. So instead of me going up to Jeff and saying I'm going to do a topspin serve, we just develop a simple set of hand signals that relay that. There's no set rule as to what type of signals you use, but some simple ones that players use are either pointing up or down, depending on whether you're going to put topspin or backspin on the ball. You can also signal long serve or short serve. So some players use their index finger for the long serve and they use their their pinky finger for the short serve. So you can signal up, down, topspin, backspin, side spin. But as I said, it's up to you and your partner to just develop a set of signals that you both understand. Also make sure that your signal is under the level of the table so your opponents can't see what type of serve you're going to do. We've been through a lot of the complexities of doubles, but remember, doubles is a really fun game. So get out there, have a go, and really enjoy your game of doubles.